Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do 7.6b today, so just some more examples of log equations, and that's just all we're going to do. I have just a few examples and then a couple of problems just to give you some more experience. All right, so all of our examples are going to say solve, so I'm going to be a wee bit lazy and not write solve every time. All right, so the first one says 7 to the 3x is equal to 18. So there's a couple of different ways that I can do this one, but I'm going to choose to take the natural log of both sides because this is an exponent form. So I'm going to go back to log form. So I'm going to do the natural log of 7 to the 3x is equal to the natural log of 18. Okay, get my calculator handy so I can show you some of the processes. All right, this is an exponent, so the properties of logarithms say that that goes out front. So this is 3x natural log 7 is equal to the natural log of 18. My goal is to solve for x, so I'm going to divide. So I'm going to divide this side by 3 natural log 7, and I'm going to divide this side by the 3 natural log of 7. So I get x is equal to the natural log of 18 divided by 3 natural log 7. Now you do have to be careful when you're using your grapher to make sure that you are using enough parentheses, okay? All right, so if I do this one in my calculator, I'm going to do the natural log of 18, close parentheses, divided by open, 3 natural log 7, close, close, okay, and go. All right, and that's going to be my solution. So x is going to equal 0.495. All right, I'll do my next example right beside it. And again, remember it says solve, and I'm just going to be lazy and not write it. So I have 0.5 to the x minus 0.25 is equal to 4. My first task to be able to solve for x is to get rid of this, so I'm going to add the 0.25 to both sides. So I'm going to have 0.5 to the x is equal to 4 plus 0.25, and so that's going to be 4.25. Alrighty, I'm going to take the natural log of both sides, so I'm going to get natural log 0.5 raised to the x is the natural log of 4.25. Take that exponent out front, so I'm going to get x natural log 0.5 is the natural log of 4.25, and then I'm going to divide both sides by the natural log of 0.5, and so then I get that x is equal to the natural log 4.25 divided by the natural log of 0.5. I'm not going to show you that one in my grapher because it has less steps, and I'm going to get a negative 2.087. Alrighty. So there's my next solution. All right, cruising right along. Here's our next example. I'm going to have 1/3 log base 5 of 12x is equal to 2. All right, so in this one, you're in log form, and typically if I want to solve from log form, I'm going to go back to exponent form. So the first thing that I need to do is manage this third. Okay, so I'm going to multiply both sides of the equation. That's not raised to the third, my equals was in the way. Multiply by 3. So I'm going to get the log base 5 of 12x is equal to 6. Okay, now it's in log form. I'm going to go back to exponent form. So I'm going to say 5 to the 6 is equal to 12x. Divide both sides by 12, and I'm going to get x is equal to 5 raised to the 6th power divided by 12. And again, I just do that in my calculator, so I'll bring in my handy dandy grapher, and I would do 5 raised to the 6th, okay, and then divided by 12, and I get 1302.083. All right, so x is equal to 1302.083. And there's that solution. All right, now let's work on an example where we have to use our properties. Okay, so here's my next one. Again, they say solve. So I have the log base 4 of a negative x plus the log base 4 of x plus 10 is equal to 2. So this is in log form, and the first thing that I'm going to do is manage my properties. So I'm going to multiply these two guys together. So it's going to be the log base 4 of a negative x times x plus 10 is equal to 2. And then I'll just simplify this in here, or you can simplify it later, it doesn't matter. So this is going to be the log base 4 of a negative x squared minus 10x is equal to 2. Now I'm at the point where I can go back to exponent form, so I would say 4 to the second is equal to the negative x squared minus 10x. The goal is to solve for x, so I'm going to move this to the other side. So I'm going to get 0 is equal to a negative x squared minus 10x minus 16. Now this, if you'll notice, is a quadratic, okay? And both of these terms, hang on, let me get my papers out of the way. Both of those terms, or sorry, all of those terms are negative. So what might be nice to do is just divide both sides by a negative 1. So if I divide by a negative 1 and a negative 1, I get x squared plus 10x plus 16 is equal to 0. Now I can solve my quadratic. I'm going to solve by factoring, and I'm going to get x plus 2 and x plus 8 is equal to 0, because 8 plus 2 is 10, and 8 times 2 is 16. So I get that x is equal to a negative 2 and a negative 8. Okay? Now remember, I can't take, sorry, bad grammar, I can't take the log of a negative number, and I'm just going to draw a line so you don't confuse this with that previous example. Remember, my original equation was a negative x plus the log base 4 of x plus 10 is equal to 2. If I substitute the negative 2 in, a negative negative, so this would be a positive, and a negative 2 plus 10 is going to be a positive number. So this one actually works, so I'll put a check mark above it. If I use my negative 8, a negative negative is a positive, and a negative 8 plus 2 plus 10 is a positive 2, so that one works. So even though they're both negative, based on the original equation, they both still work. Alrighty. Okay, I have 1, 2, 3 more examples for you. Alright, and then we'll get our problems. Okay. So here's our next one. Again, it says solve for natural log negative x plus 3 is equal to 21. All right, to start solving this one, the first thing that I would do is manage the 3, and then I'm going to manage the 4, and then we'll be good. Okay? All right, so first thing I'm going to do is subtract the 3, so I'm going to have 4 natural log negative x is 21 minus 3, which is 18. Okay? Now I'm going to divide both sides by 4, and I'm going to get the natural log of a negative x is equal to 18 divided by 4. They're both divisible by 2, which is 9/2, and I'm just going to write it as 4.5. So now I have the natural log of a negative x is equal to 4.5. This is in log form, so now I'm going to go back to exponent form. Remember that the base is e, so I get e to the 4.5 is equal to a negative x. My goal is to solve for x, so I'm going to divide or multiply, either one is fine, and I'm going to get x is equal to a negative e raised to the 4.5. And when I do that math in my calculator, okay, oops, all right, so if I do that math, I'm going to have a negative e raised to the 4.5, and you get that our answer is a negative 90.017, okay, and there's that solution. All right, here's our next example, okay? Little word problem. It says you deposit $700 in an account, oops, forgot the other C, that pays 2.75% compounded monthly. Okay, how long does it take for your investment to reach $2,000. Okay, so now on this one, we're looking to solve for time. And if you'll remember the formula, that means time is in the exponent position. All right, so first I'm going to just write down the formula so we remember. The amount in the bank is equal to the principal times 1 plus the rate divided by the compounding periods raised to the compounding periods times time. All right, so this says I want my total investment to reach $2,000. I deposited $700. Here's my 1. My interest rate is 0.0275. I'm going to compound monthly, and I'm going to raise that to the 12 times t. Alrighty. Okay, so if my goal is to solve for time, the first thing that I'm going to do is divide by 700. So I'm going to divide this side by 700, and I'm going to divide this side by 700. 2 zeros cancel, so I get 20 divided by 7. Okay? And that one cancel. So I'm going to get 1 plus 0.0275 divided by 12 raised to the 12t is equal to 20 divided by 7. And remember, when we're doing compound interest, we don't want to round along the way because we create a lot of error. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, because my variable is in the up position, I'm going to take the natural log of both sides. And I use the natural log because it's one less letter to write. So I'm going to do the natural log of 1 plus the 0.0275 divided by 12 raised to the 12t is the natural log of 20 divided by 7. And again, I'm not going to use my calculator yet. This is my exponent, so it goes out front. So I'm going to do 12t natural log 1 plus 0.0275 divided by 12, and notice again, I'm still not using my calculator. I'm still trying to solve for t, so I'm going to divide this whole side by this mess. So I'm going to get t is equal to the natural log of 20 divided by 7, and then here's the mess on the other side, the 12 natural log, and then I have 1 plus 0.0275 divided by 12. Now I'm going to do this in my calculator, so let me walk you through all of the steps, okay? All right, so if I clear, all right, so in the numerator I have the natural log of 20 divided by 7, close parentheses, divided by open parentheses, 12 natural log 1 plus 0.0275 divided by 12, close and close. Okay, so the first close is for the natural log, the second close is for the denominator, and I hit enter. And I get that my time is equal to 38.219, years. Okay, so there's my solution. So 38.219 years. Okay, and that one's done. You do have to be really careful with your calculator, and you do have to use parentheses to make this process work. All right, I have one more example. I'll squeeze it in over here, and then we'll be ready to start your problems. Okay, this one's going to be 3 to the x plus 4 is equal to 6 to the 2x minus 5. So if I try to solve this, I notice first that 3 and 6 don't have anything in common. I can't raise 3 to a power to get 6, and I can't raise 6 to a power to get 3. So I'm going to take the natural log of both sides. So I'm going to do the natural log of 3 to the x plus 4 is equal to the natural log of 6 to the 2x minus 5. Both exponents go out front. So I'm going to have x plus 4 in parentheses, natural log 3 is 2x minus 5 in parentheses, natural log 6. Okay? Alrighty, so now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to distribute this mess. So I'm going to get x natural log 3 plus 4 natural log 3 is equal to 2x natural log 6, that's an ln by the way, sorry, I'll scribble a little bit, minus 5 natural log 6. So now if I'm trying to solve for x, I need to put all of my x things together. So this is an x thing, and this is an x thing. and I'm going to take this to that side and this to that side. Okay? So I'm going to do x natural log 3 minus 2x natural log 6 equals a negative 5 natural log 6 minus 4 natural log 3. So I took this expression to this side, so signs change, okay, and then I took the 4 natural log 3 to the other side. So now if you'll notice, these two guys both have an x in common. So I'm going to factor it out, and I get the natural log of 3 minus 2 natural log 6 is equal to a negative 5 natural log 6 minus 4 natural log 3. And notice again, I'm not going to use my calculator until I get to the very end. So now I'm going to divide both sides by the natural log of 3 minus 2 natural log 6. Divide this guy by the natural log of 3 minus 2 natural log 6. So I get x is equal to, and you have to put it in parentheses, a negative 5 natural log 6 minus 4 natural log 3 divided by the natural log of 3 minus 2 natural log 6. Okay, so I'm going to scoot this over just a little bit, and I'll show you our calculator work. Okay, alrighty, see if you can see that. Alright, so I'm going to do my numerator first. So a negative 5 natural log 6, close parentheses, minus 4 natural log 3, close, close. That gets the numerator, divided by open, the natural log of 3, minus 2 natural log 6, close, close, go. And I got 5.374. Okay, so this is equal to 5.374. So I would recommend highly that you practice with your calculator, because this is just a little bit of calculator work. All right, now let me show you your problems, and then we will be done. So a nice, fairly short, not too complicated video today. All of these say solve, so I'm going to be lazy and write it once at the top. Okay. All right, number 1. You're going to have 10 raised to the x plus 2 minus 12 is equal to 22. Your second problem is 3e raised to the 3 minus x is equal to 15. 3, the log base 7 of 2 minus x is equal to the log base 7 of 5x. Remember that this has a special property, and it actually makes solving easier. Okay, I'll put your fourth problem up here. The natural log 3x minus 3 is equal to the natural log of x minus 6. Remember to check your solutions, and you can't take the log of a negative number. 5, I have the log base 6 of 2x minus 6 plus the log base 6 of x is equal to 2. And one more. I have the natural log of 3x minus the natural log of 2 is equal to 4. So those are your problems for the evening. Good luck with those, and we will go over them tomorrow in class.